to our scores and highlights from last week, kind of getting this information from our daily roundup. We're going to go about it a little bit differently this week. We're not going to separate it by day, but we're just going to kind of make mention of some highlights that we saw throughout the week that looked like pretty good stand-up performances. But yeah, Drew, I'll turn it over to you. I mean, I know you got a couple games in here and some things you liked. So what do you got?
Yeah. Yeah, I like this, Gavin. Just a couple things that really stood out to me, kind of sitting back, seeing daily roundup, or just high school tweets that come through, like Maine South. I mentioned Coach Lorenz earlier with Timmy O'Brien now doing his thing at Bradley, but they've got a catcher, 2026, uncommitted, Luka Stojakovic. And I see a tweet where it was from April 19th. He goes 3 for 3. And with going 3 for 3, that made it 8 straight hits in a row for him. So in his last 8 at-bats, he had 8 hits in a row. That's just, first off, it's kind of remarkable that like you wouldn't mix in a walk. Or get hit by a pitch or something. For him to have 8 hits in a row, I thought that was extremely noteworthy. Maine South did tweet that out, which I love to see, like these high school programs that are kind of highlighting good performances from their players, getting that out. And then Zane Caves, we mentioned him earlier from Manuka, that huge win that they had over Lincoln Way West, where he dominated a really, really good lineup. He went a CG one-hitter, shutout, struck out 9. For Manuka, gives them just another high-quality arm for them. But then one of my biggest kind of notes from last week was Nazareth finally lost a game. And I say this, and I'm taking this from a tweet I saw that they put out there, but entering the week, Nazareth Baseball had a 60-1 record in their last 61 games. Their home winning streak ended at 39 games, which covered from May of 2023 until April of 2025. It's the second longest home winning streak in the history of the state for baseball. So obviously, that's a pretty big statement. That's a huge winning streak they had going, and it ended. So I'm curious, like sitting there seeing this tweet, it's like, okay, how did it end? Well, it ended, Marist beat them, and freshman Colin Lawler had the start for Marist. So a freshman left-hander, Colin Lawler, like remember the name, he's a guy we're going to follow. He's a guy we saw last year and was in the mix for like junior future games and stuff like that. But for a freshman to knock them off and that winning streak, I just thought was really, really cool and just speaks to how good this freshman Colin Lawler is. So those were just a couple nuggets I had to lead off here, Gavin.
Yeah, so I'll kind of get in here and throw out a few. I was trying to, personally for me, I was trying to look at the 1A and 2A scores a lot when I mentioned these because I know we always kind of get some stuff like good stats coming through with those 1A, 2A schools, and that's obviously, I went to a 1A school, so love those nuggets. But yeah, Cade Millville at Altamont, he's a 2026. He threw 7 innings, struck out 16, walked none, allowed 2 hits and no runs in their 8-0 win over Neoga last week. Alec Novotny, a name we talk about a lot, threw 5 innings, struck out 10, allowed 1 hit in Ottawa Marquette's win over Roanoke Benson. And then Drew, we got a Danville area JUCO commit here, Alan Spencer from St. Bede. He threw 5.1 innings, struck out 10, allowed 1 run in their 8-1 win over Dwight. Trying to see what else we got here. Let's go Harvest Christian in their 9-6 win over Westminster Christian. Kyle Zeeble went 2 for 3 with a homer, an RBI, a double, 2 runs, and a walk. And then Ben Mitchell, who's going to Lakeland, went 3 for 4 with 2 homers, a double, 4 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. And then looking at St. Joe Ogden, they extended their winning streak to 9 games with their 16-4 win over Normal U High. Parker Fitch struck out 11 over 5 innings pitched. He earned the win, and then Coy Taylor had 6 RBIs in the game with 2 doubles. So a lot of good stuff in this Central Illinois region. But yeah, Ty, if you got anything, feel free, or Pete, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll hop in next here. Just a few things that caught my eye from last week. I think the first one for me is Carmel Catholic splitting with Naz. I think Carmel Catholic, from where we sit, is a very intriguing team for us, especially prospect-wise, whether it be Emerson Larson, who's a 2026 for them, or even Josh Wamette, who is a very talented freshman for Carmel Catholic. So them splitting with Naz on Saturday is very notable to me. Moving down, Cary Grove walked off number 4 McHenry last Thursday. Evan, and I'm going to butcher this last name, Evan, so I apologize, but Evan Frangiamore had the walk-off single. So thing I wanted to touch on here is, like, don't forget about Cary Grove up in the Fox Valley Conference. They're sitting at third right now in conference, a game back from McHenry, who's leading the conference at the time of this podcast. So feels like Cary Grove's always good. I remember, I think last year they had a kind of surprise run for us into the playoffs. So don't forget about them. They've got an ace like Charlie Tazzy. They had Ethan Dorches last year, so they always have talent up there. Next, Alton is 12-5. They actually split with number 12 O'Fallon, who I feel like going into last week, O'Fallon was just rolling and beating a ton of really good teams. So shout out to Alton. They've got two really talented arms that I know we're all very high on, whether it's Logan Hickman or Anderson Kaufman. So just want to shout out Alton there. And Dane, feel free to hop in. I know you've seen them. So if you have any more nuggets about Alton, but you're good if you don't want to say anything too.
Yeah, no, I think Alton is they've had a couple like tough years in a row, and it's good to see them kind of trending in the right direction. They've got some young guys with Anderson Kaufman. They've got a talented 26 in Logan Hickman. They've got a couple seniors that are doing it, a couple unsigned seniors as well. So any colleges out there like still looking for guys, like maybe peek in on them. Couple other nuggets that I just kind of had as I'm perusing, like Jaden Fauski's a left-handed bat in the senior class. He's our number 2 overall prospect. He's like a top 15 national prospect. I think he's a potential, first round, first day type of draft. He's starting to heat up. I saw on April 19th, he went 2 for 2 with 2 bombs, 3 walks, 3 RBIs. Just a name to kind of keep in mind here as the season gets towards playoff time. Like Jaden Fauski's as talented as they come in the state. And then one other one I had was St. Charles North gave Libertyville their first loss of the season last week, which I just thought was noteworthy in general. Like St. Charles North has done that a couple times this year, beating some really good teams. We've talked on Coach Genke and how good of a program they have year in, year out over there. But junior left-handed pitcher Emerson Miller was kind of the guy from that game, just from looking at it, went 5 in the third innings out of the bullpen to earn the win, and he gave up 3 hits and struck out 2. So huge win there for St. Charles North. Libertyville has just been a team that's been dominating. So yeah, giving them their first loss, and I think those were the nuggets that I saw on my end, Gavin.
I wanted to hop in real quick.
Ahead.
Sorry, Gav. With St. Charles North and Emerson Miller, that's like the exact blueprint of how they beat Pravi when I saw them earlier in the year. Emerson Miller came out of the bullpen. It was just a different look, I think, for the opposing lineup. And credit to him, man. He's a nice little southpaw who just throws strikes and gets outs. Gets a ton of weak contact. So just want to throw that in there. It's interesting how that win unfolded because it was very similar to earlier in the spring.